gives me immense pleasure to introduce to you our speaker for this session, Mr. Mohan Rao from SEBI. So, if sir permit, I just give a brief introduction of Shri Rao. Shri G. Mohan Rao is an executive director at SEBI. He has been with SEBI since 1998 and currently oversees the investigation and regional and local offices. He has extensive experience in the capital markets of enforcement. He has a brilliant academic career as well, with a Bachelor of Engineering, an MBA in Marketing and Finance, and a law degree, and is a certified fraud examiner from ACME. Sir was also at the Serious Fraud Investigation Office SFIO during 2003 to 2008. Apart from being a brilliant career investigator, Sir is also keen in physical fitness and has participated in more than 25 half marathons and 14 full marathons, including one at Chicago. So, as you know, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, sir, to IIM Nagpur, and thank you for accepting our invitation for this talk. So, we look forward to hearing from sir. Since we are starting a bit late, our session will go on till 2:45. Sir will be presenting his talk for about 20 to 25 minutes, post which we will have a Q&A session with all of you with the participants. So, without much further ado, sir, please state it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all. Let me tell you, it's a pleasure to be at IIM and seeing a good, knowledgeable people and who would like to know more about the capital markets and other things. Here, maybe how many would like to know more about SMEs or something like that? Because if you are not keen about SMEs, then I'll skip the topic of SMEs. I'll get into that other topics. The issue is, the topic is like, it's a compliance as a growth enabler for where trust, stability and sustainability are more important. In one of, when our chairman, Mr. Tuhin Kanta Pandey has assumed charge in last March, he said about there are 4 things which he expects from the people in SEBI. One is a trust, second one is transparency, third one is technology, and fourth one is teamwork. These are the 4 stepping stones for us. Of course, we have been practicing it for quite long time, since I have joined SEBI in the year 1998. And most of my expertise is into investigations, investigating market malpractices, including, if you ask me, Harshad Mehta, then Ketan Parekh, then if you ask me, then there is a flurry of GDR issues issued by so many companies, and then Carvey matters, and so, please come. And there are several other matters which I handled. So it is an out of experience. Let me tell you, when I was very young, in the year 2000 or so, I used to think about only one issue, which is punishing people. Because at the young age you feel that there is you have got a power to do someone, or punishing somebody is, if they have done something wrong, we should punish. Then over a period of time, when you do so many things, because by being working in the investigations, my interactions with the people is only limited. Let me tell you, my domain is limited to the people who has done fraud in the market. So I always tend to feel, that is, it tend to develop a biased feelings. That means I used to feel the people are bad, people are fraudsters. But of course, my domain of the people who are with whom I am interacting is very, very little. So there are many people who are in the good people who are contributing to the market, but not get into the fraudsters, or they generally get into the prey of the fraudsters. That is where it's I can say that it's a turning point for me. Then I thought it is better, prevention is better than cure. That means I need to educate people rather than punishing people. Because in the entire world, and somewhere, some of the theories, fraud theory says 10% of the people in the out of 100 set of 100 people, 10% of the people they tend to do something what they like, whether it's good or bad, and they don't care about the rules and regulations. They only infiltrate frauds or they would like to dupe others. And 10% of the people, they don't need any rules. They strictly follows their own principles. Whether the government is looking after that or not, I'll follow my principles. They follow for their own satisfaction. They follow what they believe. So for me, as a regulator, I don't need these 10% to this 10%. There is a remaining set of 80% of the people who always look out for an opportunity. That means if there is no one is watching, they will try to cross the limits. If somebody is watching, they will never cross. That means they will be cautious. So I thought it is better to address 80% of the people rather than concentrating only the 10%, those who are habitual offenders. Of course, habitual offenders can also be, we can do something good for them over a period of time. They cannot reform just overnight. But the 80% of the people where we can reform. That is where the investor education, investor awareness has been. I have taken up so many programs over there. So I thought it is better. And one of my objectives of coming over here is to make people be aware. And in capital market, what SEBI believes is whosoever is the investor is, he is an informed investor. The person takes informed decisions on their own. They accumulate knowledge. Based on their knowledge, they take the decisions. Assuming if I have taken a decision which turned out to be wrong after some time, I don't blame anyone, because the decision which I have taken on a particular set of facts and figures, at that particular point of time, it was a perfect decision. Maybe at some particular point of time, it may turn out to be bad, but I don't blame anyone. So we want every investor to be a matured investor. So if I want to make everyone to behave as a matured investor, I need to empower them. I need to build trust or win trust over them. So that is what my effort is. If you get into the data and statistics of Indian capital market, in 2013, it was market cap is only 74 lakh crore, which is presently at 471 lakh crore, which is 6-fold increase. Similarly, number of demat accounts, which was increased by 9.9 folds, now it is 21.6 crores. And the daily turnover in cash market is 13,000 crores to 1.2 lakh crores. Daily turnover in derivatives market is from 1.5 lakh crore to 295 lakh crore. This is, I'm just trying to give you a flavor of that one, why it has gone up. Is it an opportunity? Is it a greed? There is also a possibility that people may be also looking for some more rate of return or something like that. Is it a greed? Is it an opportunity? Or is it a trust on the system? That means whenever somebody is going to invest over there, even with the informed decisions, they should not be turned out to be a wrong one. So trust is where we are emphasizing. The 4 T's which I initially said about trust and then transparency. Why they want to get into the capital market, why they want to get into secondary market. When I was young, I was placing orders with Bombay Stock Exchange. Then whenever we used to place any order, if I want to buy some shares, then I used to get a highest rate, and if I want to sell some shares, I used to get at lowest rate. The difference between the amount is being pocketed by the brokers. because people are not aware at what time and at what rate my trade got executed. And through inventing of the automated trading system, the transparency has evolved over a period of time. The transparency is giving them a confidence. The transparency is building the trust of the people. Because today we are sure if I have bought some shares, tomorrow it will get credited in my account. And during those days, no people are not aware whether they are fake or forged shares, whether it will be transferred on my name or not. People will not be knowing about. Even after 6 months or so, they will not be knowing about whether I am actual owner or not. But now, with the advent of the demat accounts, dematerialization of shares, the shares are getting created in next 2 days. As soon as you are making payment, and the next day it is coming out. Then we also had some bad experiences. We also learned from the experiences where market tried to do something. But our constant endeavor to build the trust and transparency has made us to stand over here. It's a brand, SEBI, brand of SEBI, which is actually creating. They say that though people may say about market is behaving like this market, because there is a greed is a factor, another factor which is actually working towards negativity, towards the trust. If the investors behave in a more matured manner, though I don't expect, that means it is because greed has to be there in our element, because emotions are there. Intelligence and emotions go together. As long as intelligence is there, emotions also do exist. We cannot say that only intelligence has to prevail. Emotions are also there. So the market is also driven by the emotions. But the important point which you would like to know is the growth in the capital market is because of the trust and transparency. And of course, we are using the technology. Technology is actually supporting everyone. If somebody wants to make the order matching mechanism has to be done, the technology is actually he's providing the platform to everyone to do at much faster rate, and price discovery is happening very fast. And of course, the teamwork which I say is it is not whatever the success which we have been claiming is not just success alone. It is the entire ecosystem which is working towards that. We are trying to do that. Our entire ecosystems like exchanges, clearing corporations, depositories, and then another self-regulatory organizations like ANMI and other agencies, they also work towards us. And the merchant bankers, stockbrokers, every person in the ecosystem is working towards one goal. That's a teamwork which is actually helping us. Because I say that this AUM is from 83 lakh crore to 81 lakh crore, and increase in the mutual fund folios. This is where the AMFI is working very hard on that. And their taglines are also were more popular, and they are building confidence. I can say that. And then we thought it is not just the only few cities. The wealth distribution should not happen in just a few cities. We have reached to every corner of, I think, more than 90% of the PIN codes were covered where our investors are there. That has been covered by the depositories. So that's the biggest achievement where I can say. And the SIPs, these are the facts and figures which gives you a hint saying that there is a growth in the market which is happening. And the growth is again directly proportional unless until our GDP grows. these figures have got no relevance, let me tell you. All these figures are growing just because our economy is growing. If the economy needs to grow, earlier we used to have, 20 years back, we used to have only banking system is the only system where it is giving support for the economic growth, supporting the institutions, supporting the organizations for their credit requirements. But there the SEBI has actually, I don't say, the fundraising was earlier, it was there, but it is accelerated after 1992 onwards. People, until that particular point of time, it was only secondary market which is being more popular, but the primary market was not so emphasized. So SEBI looks into the primary market, because unless until this platform should be in a position to raise money from the public, then it can contribute to the economy. We also look into that one, how much equity fundraising is happening. And the primary advantage of fundraising is the company is actually creating a brand. Creating a brand in the market, not only creating in the local market, Indian market, but they are also creating brand in the international market. People are not known about, without knowing about the company, but once they say the name of the company, okay, the price of this, share price of this company is this much. So that is where actually it is creating a brand for that particular company. So raising money through capital market is not just for the fund requirement, because some people, some family offices may be having cash rich people. They can manage on their own with their cash, available cash. But if they are going for the public, the important point is they are going to the public because they want to be very transparent. Because once they raise money, the company is not their company alone. Company is of shareholders, and by sitting on their boards as well as management, they are just trustees of the shareholders, trustees of the money of the shareholders. So initially it was not there, but over a period of time, they also believed, I need to disclose so many things. I need to go for related party transactions and other disclosures has to be made to the investors, because if they want to be in the capital market. Second one is their product visibility also comes out. And if they want to raise money internationally, because if they are doing export business, if they want to raise money internationally, it becomes easy for them to raise. So there are a lot of advantages connected to the listings. So people not only just come for this one, and apart from that, if they are not listed, who will understand the market valuation? How do you ensure what is your market valuation? Earlier the market valuation was only on the basis of the amount of reserves they are having. But nowadays, it is a potential to grow is a new buzzword for the market valuation. So that is where the entire ecosystem has given a lot of opportunities. I don't say that just SEBI has done a good job, but it is again RBI and then payment systems and relaxed KYC systems has led us growth in this capital market. These are the companies where I would like to say with respect to SMEs, where we are also focusing on the SME companies. You may be surprised to see there's a SME fundraising through IPOs has gone up from 2,333 crores in financial 2023 to it's almost 10,000 crores. So on an average, the fundraising every year, the SME companies are raising funds to the tune of 10,000 crores. And why do we need, actually, if you if you go for a fundamental question of saying that why do we need to grow, people say that why do you need an SME, they can directly go for the main board also. But our experience said, the company in their initial years are not much compliant about, they don't know about what are the rules and regulations, compliance is what they are supposed to make, and they used to feel that compliance is a burden for them in the initial days. So for them to understand about the compliances, to understand about the regulatory framework, it was very difficult. So it took 3 to 4 years down the line for them to understand completely about the SEBI, about the investors, or accepting investors as their partners. So what we thought, it is better to have like graduating, post-graduation. If somebody wants to get into the post-graduation, somebody should complete the graduation level. So what we are given a way out, saying that SMEs, the people can, that means enterprises can raise money through SME issues, because we have relaxed, a lot of relaxations have been given for the SME companies, because it is like hand-holding the companies with respect to compliances. They will also understand over a period of time. We have given time for about more than 3 years or so before migrating it to the main board of the exchange. We have given ample time to them to understand about the compliances and to ensure that the compliances has to be made. Why do we need compliances? People say that why do we need to, we don't want any compliance. It is actually a cost center. It is not generating any revenue. I can give you only one basic example is, if you want to drive, if you want to buy a Mercedes-Benz, why you want to buy a Mercedes-Benz? Because I want to drive at a speed of 150 kilometers per hour. But do you think that whether accelerator is a compliance? No, accelerator is not a compliance. If you ask me, the brake is a compliance. People often treat brake as a compliance. But I can tell you, if somebody wants to drive at 150 kilometers per hour, unless until the brakes are efficient, they don't even dare to drive not more than 10 kilometers per hour. So the compliances is like a brakes. If the company has got it is like if they are totally complied with the rules and regulations, then the growth is immense for them, because they know that the compliance officer, the board appreciates the compliance officer's concerns. If they are able to tackle those concerns, then it will be easy for them to envisage for the growth. So that is where we say that compliance is not just a burden, it is actually a growth engine for enterprise. So in order to make them compliant, the MSMEs, micro to small to medium, if they want to, everybody would like to grow. Nobody would like to be there for micro enterprise for lifelong. So if they want to graduate from one level to another level, they need to upgrade the skills of the compliance. And in fact, SEBI has done a lot with respect to compliance, automation of the compliances, because we don't want the routine things to be burdened on the brokers or intermediaries. Like the promoters who are supposed to give their shareholding, change in shareholding patterns, change in shareholding, that means if they are sold in the market, if there is change in their shareholding, system will automatically disclose it to the exchange. We call it as an SDDs. So the disclosures becomes the compliance, it makes the compliances very easy for them. Similarly, at least if you ask me, the new stockbroker regulations, where we got into that, we have done almost 300 plus system driven compliances. The system will automatically takes out the data from the broker seamlessly and then find out. So SEBI is not just trying to put compliances, but it is also trying to automate the compliances so that it will be easy for them. The entrepreneurs can focus more on the business rather than on the compliances. If you ask me this, there are about 70 million MSMEs in our country, and 35 MSMEs are engaged in manufacturing. 49% of the exports are by MSMEs. That is where Government of India wants more emphasis, because the MSMEs are contributing much to the economy than the big enterprises, because many of the big companies are outsourcing their products. That means outsourcing their products or outsourcing their components which the products can be built. That is through MSMEs only. So unless until we support MSMEs, the economy cannot grow. And there are about 1400 SMEs I have listed, and market cap is about almost 4.1 lakh crore. In the last 2 years, they have raised about almost 10,000 crores. And 44% of the SMEs are from Western India, 32% are from Northern India, 14% from Eastern India, and 10% from Southern India. If you look into this one, why the eastern and southern part of the country are not very energetic in getting their SMEs are listed? Because there is some reason where they don't want to share their wealth. Because some of the SMEs are very good SMEs, they don't want to share their wealth. Or some of them may be into the cash economies or somewhere. But when somebody gets into listing portfolio, if they list their company, then the cash transactions, it is too difficult to take place. But with the GST, people are also adapting, moving from cash economy to the banking economy. And this is where we are trying to say that the SMEs capital revolution is when the opportunities are there in front of you, why you want to just tap small drops. So the opportunities are unlimited. As the country's vision, as it says, $30 trillion economy by 2047. I'm sure if every citizen of the country aspires for that, we can achieve it. But there's a real challenge we need to understand is, for me, I feel, in the area of SEBI, what should I do? Whether I should build an infrastructure to meet the requirements of 2047, 20 years down the line. What I should do it? The simple math says, as on date, GDP market cap ratio is about 140%. That means if the GDP, we are aspiring for $30 trillion, possibly at that particular point of time, the market cap may be around $35 to $40 trillion. If the market cap has to be $30 to $45 trillion, earlier the figures which I was mentioning about it, the reason why I mentioned is it's again tenfold increase in the next 20 years. But it is everybody's responsibility. Everybody has to aspire for their growth in their mindset. So what we need to do, whether our technology, whatever the trust which we are, where initially what we are trying to say is the sustainability of the growth, whether the growth is sustainable or not. If I want to sustain the growth, the trust has to be built continuously in the ecosystem, where SEBI is ensuring to have the trust in the investors. These are the small things where I can say that strategic, this is already where we have discussed. Strategic benefits of listing is access to the capital, expansion becomes very easy, they are reducing the debt, they are reducing the interest cost, and unlocking the valuation of the company, and then futures, it gives us a scope for future mergers and acquisition. These are things where there is an advantage of the listing. But listing alone cannot do. We need to have a lot of compliances, because the compliances, small compliances, is whenever the promoter is offloading or management if offloading shares in the market, they need to disclose. If somebody has sold for more than value of 10 lakhs, they need to disclose immediately within 2 days. And then if there is any change in the shareholding pattern, that will interest among the promoters, then they need to disclose. If there is any RPTs or the company gets into RPTs, then they need to disclose about it. So a lot of disclosures are coming into place, where the promoters and the management need to take care about it. If you look into the SMA platform versus main board, is SMEs is post-issue paid up capital should not be more than 25 crores, and it should not be more. It should be minimum of 50 investors, and then 15% to be held by the merchant bankers. And it is a mandatory for SMEs. Listing is profitability for the mandatory for 3 years, and the document will not be vetted by the SEBI, it is vetted by the stock exchanges. Profitability, it has to be within in the last 3 years, where we should say it's about 1 crore more than EBITDA and 1 crore for minimum 2 years. These are certain relaxations which we are given to the SMEs. I think this is. But what do they need? Which are the regulations which they need to take care about is SEBI ICDR regulations, SEBI LODR regulations, that listing, post-listing, and PFUTP regulations, merchant banker regulations. There are certain restrictions which have come of late against the SME companies, because where we have found there are a lot of manipulations which have been taking place with respect to SMEs. So we have put some restrictions on the issuers and post-listing also. This is again repetition of the information. But if someone aspires for the listing, it needs to be at least, they need to prepare for at least for an year, because their restatement of the financial statements has to be in a proper way. They appoint for a merchant banker, restate the financials, they need to convert into public limited company, and the entire share capital has to be dematerialized. Then file DRSP with the exchanges, due diligence by the merchant bankers, and after getting in principle approval, they file red herring prospectus with ROC. Issue has to be open for 3 to 10 days, and then the book building also takes place. This is where we try to say that listing and trading commences within 3 days. I think most of you may be aware. Now after closing of the issue, then the shares has to be listed within 3 days. That's a remarkable achievement, where I can say that people are not blocking their amounts. Here there is one concept called market making. Market making is providing liquidity in the shares of SME, where the market maker provides a buy quote as well as sell quote in the market, so that if any investor wants to get out of that stock, they can sell to the market maker, and then similarly somebody wants to buy, the market maker will give their buy sell quotes so that the trading can takes place in that. There's another point is board and governance. They need to appoint independent directors. Minimum 50% of the directors has to be independent. They should constitute committees of audit, nomination, and then stakeholders. And they need to appoint peer-reviewed auditors. They need to prepare policies which is with respect to the materiality of the transactions, and then whistleblower mechanism has to be taken care of. These are the total ecosystem where they need to do if they want to go for SME listing. If you look into the compliance is a cost center for any company, it should be a pillar of stability. It should be considered as the compliance levels where with respect to the alerts generation at SEBI, we take it out from the reports of the stockbrokers which they submit every day. Based on that, the alerts have been generated whether there is something fraud is going on or not. Because there's a lot of experience which we got it from the Carvey fallout, wherein the Carvey has used the client securities and money, and then he has taken loans from the banks. The issue is when the investor knows about it, the investor looks into with the advent of digitalization, they used to send statement of securities to the investors. That shows Carvey. The client used to feel that it is lying in my demat account, but it was not actually lying in the demat account. It was lying with the broker. And the broker has pledged these securities with the bank under the pretext that the client is placing as a pledge. The banks were also slipped over. They are not checked up whether these shares are actually coming from the investor or from the stockbroker. And they had lent about more than 3,000 crores or so. But when we realized there's something which is mishappening, the entire root cause of the problem is the broker is pledging shares for the purpose of the client. That is the crux of the issue. Then we realized it is not, the broker should not do it. It is the client should be in a position to pledge those shares within financial institution or bank where they have got facilities. Then there is a pledge-repledge mechanism which we have introduced, so that that mechanism has eliminated the entire risks in the ecosystem. So the compliances, earlier compliance part, we have replaced with the new technology, and with new system we have reduced compliance of other stockbrokers. That is where our efforts to improve upon the system. I thought in case if you have got any doubt, let us get into that.
So we can open the floor for audience questions. We have mic support.
what we feel is there are a lot of potential business improvement can takes place. इसके लिए हमने उसको अलो किए हैं and but that they always disclose what is their profitability, whether the growth prospects are there or not. Now it is the investor who can choose whether to invest in that company or not.
But you are allowing it. I mean to say, why you cannot restrict those people? Because you are, I mean, from that department to you know.
No, आपके जो thought process है that was there earlier, but over a period of time, what we envisaged is the growth which comes with the numbers, not with the fundamentals. Let me tell you earlier, अगर आपके पास asset हुआ तो ही आप कमा सकते हैं, but आज की तारीख में even if they are not owning the assets also, they can make money out. So it is the business model which is actually driving the account, unki profitability. So if the investors are comfortable with the business models and if they have got a trust on them that they are going to make any profits, then only they are investing. It is not that not all issues went on very well. But it's a new age thought process. I am not saying that we should not do that. Because earlier we used to only look into the assets only. उनके पास कितने assets होंगे? What is their net worth? Now what we are saying is the net worth can be negative and apart from that, there are a lot of private money which is actually flowing into the companies. That private equity investors are investing into that, and why do they invest? They are again professional investors. And then they are looking for the profitability. हो सकता है कि you may say that कि their objective is only to promote.
जितने private equity वाले agreements करते हैं इसमें profit कभी नहीं होता है. इसमें ये होता है कि exit route will be.
No, it is exit. It is what you are saying is right. Exit route तो रहेगा ही रहेगा. But उनकी जो belief on them, because it is not that कि अगर उनकी जो अग्रीमेंट है नॉट फॉर द लिस्टिंग, इट इज़ फॉर द बिकॉज आप वन साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी इज एवरीबॉडी इज मेकिंग प्रॉफिट्स. इट इज़ नॉट दैट ऑल प्राइवेट इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर रिजल्टिंग इनटू प्रॉफिट्स. जैसे अगर मान लीजिए आपने अनलिस्टेड स्पेस में बाइजूस में इन्वेस्ट कर लिए कोई पी इन्वेस्टर्स, दे आर लॉस्ट मनी इन बिलियंस. So they always put into that one business model देखेंगे and they also drive business. I am not saying that they also be behind the promoters and they say that where is my profitability, when it is going. So there are PE investors who have lost money also. It is not so that every time they make money. Yes, we will get to know only when they make money. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
I want to know major and focusing area in PFU2B regulations for investor as well as
It should be both. If you are only looking, because everybody is called as stakeholders. So if I don't provide the platform to the issuers, to the issuing companies, and if I don't facilitate them, or if I don't facilitate the intermediaries, my role is limited to disclosures. The company, they should disclose true. It is our role whether I have to invest in that company or not. The primary is disclosure. If they are not disclosing something, then we are taking actions against those companies.
But sir, LODA is already enough for disclosure. But the PFUTB regulations for what?
I didn't get you. Then.
LODA is enough for disclosures.
Yeah.
But the new regulation, like I'm first time PFUTB regulation, that's why I'm asking.
Can you give?
LODA is enough for compliances and
Absolutely.
Disclosures. First time I relating to PFUTB regulations, that's why I'm asking.
I didn't understand actually what is your, can anyone?
He's asking that the ODR compliance is okay for the disclosure. So why the new regulation of PFUTP has been provided?
See, PFUTP regulation LODR regulation is only for the issuer companies. PFUTP regulations will attract for everyone. Suppose somebody is not the company is not indulging, the third party is indulging. Like मान लीजिए अगर आप हर्षद मेहता के बात पूछते हैं, हर्षद मेहता is owning any company, listed company नहीं. He is a third party. He is actually doing manipulation in the stock market. So that is where to punish themselves, because you might have seen there are many YouTube videos which are coming saying about this company is going to go up or something like that. And on the other hand, the persons who are associated to that video publisher is selling their stocks. That is where pump and dump. So these LODR regulations will not be restricting them to do that. Still not convinced? Let me know. No issues. Yeah.
My question is, दो तरीके के होते हैं, एक अनलिस्टेड होते हैं और एक लिस्टेड. पहले अनलिस्टेड में होता है, तो अनलिस्टेड में वेंचर कैपिटल ये सब कुछ लेते हैं, तो उसमें जो मोटा प्रॉफिट होना रहता है वो हो जाता है. फिर उन लोगों का मन भर जाता है, तो उनको बाहर निकलना रहता है, तो उसके लिए मैक्सिमम पब्लिक लिस्टिंग के लिए जाते हैं. तो मोटा प्रॉफिट वो ले रहे हैं, और बाद में जो कुछ डंप करने का रहा है, मोस्ट ऑफ तो होता है ऐसा भी. तो फिर इसके लिए सेबी क्या करती है?
See, investment through unlisted.
थोड़ा एक एडिशन है कि मतलब जो हर किसी को दिखता है वो सेबी को भी दिखता है, लेकिन सेबी एक्शन क्यों नहीं लेती? हर जगह कंप्लेंट करे उसके बाद भी सेबी क्यों एक्शन लेती है? ऐसा क्यों होता है?
I'll tell you. जैसे पहले सर ने भी ऐसे पूछे थे, सेम क्वेश्चन इज विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू इन्वेस्टर्स बाय पीई इन्वेस्टर्स. पीई इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए हम लोग ये बोलते हैं कि व्हेनेवर पीई इन्वेस्टर्स एट व्हाट प्राइस, अज्यूमिंग आपको ऑफर फॉर सेल में रहता है, तो वी आल्सो से दैट कि आपको ऑफर फॉर सेल में दे आर सेलिंग एट दिस प्राइस, बट व्हाट प्राइस दे आर एक्वायर्ड, बिकॉज एक्विजिशन कैन बी डन 4 years बैक. 4 years के बाद में अगर जो होते हैं, then there can be a bonus issue हो सकता है, there can be a rights issue हो सकता है, some other issue which might have taken place. So we will tell them what is an exact price where you have bought. तो आपको पता लग जाएगा, because earlier it was not there. आपको अभी पता लग जाएगा with in the RHP में कि उसने कितने प्राइस पे आपको खरीदा है and what he is selling. So whether it is our duty, whether to invest in that company or not, it is our call.
मतलब इंफॉर्मेशन सही रहती है, लेकिन उसको मैनिपुलेट किया जाता है.
But कैसे? I'm just saying.
तो प्राइवेट कंपनियों को बोनस देने की क्षमता इतना रिजर्व होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, बहुत कंडीशंस है. बट यहाँ पर तो मैंने लॉस वाली कंपनी की बोनस शेयर दे दी है, राइट इशू दे दी.
No, I think आप जो बोल रहे हैं, बोनस इशू देने के लिए you need to have reserves. There is nothing like that. Public या कुछ भी नहीं है. Because why they do? मैं आपको बताता हूँ, अगर the maths कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं. मान लीजिए प्रमोटर ने 10 रुपये में खरीदा है 10 रुपये का शेयर, बट पीई इन्वेस्टर ने खरीदा होगा 100 रुपये में. गिविंग यू एग्जाम्पल.
थोड़ा कंपनी स्पेसिफिक एग्जांपल देंगे?
No, I cannot speak anything about company.
जैसे एस बैंक वगैरह था, ये अपने पास एग्जांपल है, मतलब जो हो चुके पास्ट में, फ्यूचर का पास्ट का
No, but there are certain things. Because it is not that कि आपको जो facts and figures जो रहेंगे ना, उसमें कभी distortion होता है, तो it is not right on my part. तो इसे what I am trying to say is, पी इन्वेस्टर ने 100 रुपये लगा दिए, तो उनकी जो पेड अप कैपिटल में बुक वैल्यू हो जाएगा, शायद उस बुक वैल्यू पे 10 रुपये 40 रुपीज़ बुक वैल्यू होगा. आफ्टर बिकमिंग 40 रुपीज़ बुक वैल्यू, there's no company law will provides them to go, allows them to go for a bonus. So that is, there is no restriction. But at what price, जो शेयर उन्होंने मार्केट में जो OFS के लिए दे रहे हैं, if they are selling at 250 rupees, then it is disclosure is bold way. It is not that even आपको ये नहीं कि it has to be in bold saying that at what is the acquisition price for that person. तो आपको immediately आ जाएगा. Some people say that कि this one is an overpriced, I don't buy it. But yeah, you are only questioning here. Let me tell you, many of you always question about the issue price. Why are you not questioning the same price in the secondary market? Let me tell you, आपने जो बोल रहे हैं कि एसेट देखना है, अगर किसी कंपनी का बुक वैल्यू पड़ा हुआ है 40 रुपये बुक वैल्यू पड़ा हुआ है, now it is quoting at 2000 rupees. Are you at any point of time questioning that one? Not questioning about it. So why are you only restricting only at the IPO stage? जी कभी कभी हो सकता है. I am not saying that कि as I said in the beginning itself, 10% will always have fraudulent motive. आप उनको सुधार नहीं सकते हैं, आपको उनको पनिश ही करना पड़ेगा. There is no other remedy for them. But किसी को ग्रो करने की अपॉर्चुनिटी रहना है तो वी शुड अलाउ देम टू ग्रो, बिकॉज इट इज़ लाइक द इकोनॉमी ग्रो होने के लिए यू नीड टू also have an accelerator. Some accelerators has to be there. Some encouragement has to be given. आप जो बोलते हैं same thing will say that कि why we should give subsidies. किसके लिए देना है? Why we should have subsidized education? Because we want to promote that. तो थोड़ा बहुत तो सोशल कॉज रहेगा, तो इट नीड्स टू बी रिलैक्सेशन. बट अगर एनी कंपनी इफ समबडी वांट्स टू ग्रो, दे कैन मेक बिग मिस्टेक्स इन द बिगिनिंग. बट अगर मान लीजिए इफ दे आर इग्नोरिंग द कंप्लायंसेस, दे विल नॉट बी ग्रोइंग इन ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. जो सस्टेनेबिलिटी हम लोग जो बोलते हैं वो नहीं होगा. लेट अस
What is SEBI's stance on regulating cryptocurrency like Bitcoin?
As of now, no. Because आप ये बोलेंगे उसमें तो है ही नहीं, हवा में वैल्यूएशन चल रहा है. एटलीस्ट बाकी जगह तो देखेंगे आप, you will not be know. So we are, if you ask me, I don't go for anything on regulating cryptocurrencies.
Last question. Do you have follow-up question?
So 1.5 years back, SEBI had issued one report where it said that more than 95% of the retail investors they lose money in everything. But in notes like PMS, we have a threshold of investments, right? Below that you cannot invest. So is the regulator planning to bring this kind of threshold or maybe any net worth for the sake of trading to cover that?
See, the same thing where I was emphasizing. People make you and cry. अगर मैं रिस्क लेना चाहता हूँ तो आप क्यों रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा रहे हैं? तो इसीलिए हमारी कोशिश ये है कि हम आप लोगों को बताएं कि 9 out of 10 investors who are indulged in F&O trading are losing money. तो people will say कि I am aspiring the 1, not in the 9. I fit into, okay, if you are fitting in that 1, then it is well and good. But there is always a chance that you may lose money. So that is where we are trying to see. Because why do they lose is they will not be knowing about the entire जो data parameters are there in the market, which they may tend to ignore. हो सकता है कि किसी ने some people may be doing arbitrage in that, or some people may be not knowing. They don't keep track of the companies. They don't keep track of the corporate announcements made by the company. They don't keep track on the economies. They don't keep track on the other parts. तो इसके लिए they lose money. It is not that कि they may not be empowered with the information. अगर मान लीजिए जो FIS के पास जो information flow आ जाती है, that means they have so many tabs to get the information. They can make quick decisions. अगर ये लेना है, नहीं लेना है, बेचना है. But if we don't have so many, if you don't have complete information, so people may tend to lose, general investors. So that is where what I feel is that our goal is to make them be aware that this is happening. If they want to take a risk, yes.
In the interest of time, yeah, please.
Actually, in the last 2 to 3 years, we have been seeing that SEBI has came up with the some kind of duplication of work. Like first, we need to upload the PDF disclosure now in the XBRL. So, what is the intention of SEBI to came up?
Intention of XBRL is what makes it has to be machine readable. Okay, so that if somebody wants to assess, if there was somebody wants to make it as a data points, मान लीजिए अगर PDF में अगर कर लेते हैं तो वो जो देखा है उसी को पता लगेगा. But if I built up an app over there, then the information can be assimilated. अब मुझे उसके लिए एक artificial intelligence बना सकते हैं and I can take out a meaningful outcome मैं ले सकता हूँ. That is the reason why we said about it's a machine readable.
But it is not disclosed to the shareholders on the page of the stock exchange.
No, I don't
It
think.
is for the SEBI purpose.
No, that is only for uploading. But it is disclosed on for the every investors. It is there.
No, so the PDF is uploaded on the BSE portal, or like if I say prior intimation. So we need to also upload the XBRL within 24 hours. So that XBRL is not visible to the shareholders.
No, it is for the BSE and SEBI to understand. That means to keep them in a database.
And so one last, sir, if you.
No issues. Since you don't have time, I
Sir, I have only one question. The question is, जैसा फंड रेज करते हैं या लिस्टिंग करते हैं तो ऐसे थोड़ा हाइप क्रिएट होता है और सब प्रमोटर निकल जाते हैं, सिर्फ इन्वेस्टर ही रह जाते हैं. ऐसे बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल हैं. तो फिर उसका क्या?
see. In case of any fraudulent announcement, let me tell you, SEBI has taken enough actions.
बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल.
No, बहुत सारे examples में बहुत सारे actions में ले चुके हैं. That is what I want to say. Even there is not even a single case where SEBI has not taken action. अगर मान लीजिए जैसे आपको बता रहा हूँ कि YouTube में वीडियो चला लिए एंड देन दे सेट कि ₹2 का जो स्क्रिप्ट है वो बोलेंगे 200 रुपये जाएगा 2 महीने में, 1000 रुपये हो जाएगा 6 महीने में, सब. सो हमने कहाँ तक गए हुए हैं कि आफ्टर दैट आपने अनाउंसमेंट किए तो आप बोलेंगे मैं तो सिर्फ अनाउंसमेंट किया हूँ, मैं तो उसका कोई फ़ायदा नहीं उठाया, जैसे बोलेंगे मैं तो कुछ फ़ायदा नहीं उठाया. बट हमने इसमें काफ़ी ये किए थे, वर्क किए थे. जो आपने उस समय अनाउंस किए थे उस समय कौन बेचे हैं, उसके कौन बेचा है, बेचने के बाद then we found out connections between the persons and the person who has disseminated the information. तो हमने उसके लिए fraudulent PFUTB regulations इन्वोक किए हैं और एक्शन भी ले चुके हैं.
सेबी खुद एक्शन करती है कि उसके लिए कंप्लेंट वगैरह करना पड़ता है?
जनरली खुद कर लेती है. कंप्लेंट किया तो भी लेते हैं.
मतलब कैसे है, मतलब क्रिकेट में जब तक कि अपील ना हो तब तक कि
No, it is not so. We have got no, we have got excellent services.
सारे ऐसे चीजें हो गई हैं तो जहाँ पे मतलब सबको पता रहता है, नॉर्मल पीपल को भी पता रहता है, फिर भी सेबी एक्शन नहीं लेती.
No, मैं शायद SEBI unless until the final action जब तक नहीं आएगा हम वो नहीं बताएंगे. Let me tell you because वो कहीं ना कहीं वो confidential information रहता है. So otherwise हमारा we have got a robust surveillance system. Let me tell you, हमने not only surveillance system but we also said कि आपके जो exchanges surveillance के हैं वो भी they are very strong enough to do. आपको अगर मान लेते हैं तो if it is a front running के instances कहाँ से कहाँ आएंगे, those things everything they take it out. फ्रंट रनिंग आपको अगर ट्रांजैक्शन लेवल एनालिसिस देखते हैं तो इट इज़ अ वेरी बिग वन. उसको पैटर्न देखना पड़ेगा, आपको एक महीने के पीछे जाना पड़ेगा. एक इन्वेस्टर एक पैटर्न अगर आता है तो उसको दे वी कीप देम अंडर वॉच फॉर सम पीरियड में वो पैटर्न दिखना चाहिए. वो पैटर्न दिखने के बाद देन वी कैन एनालाइज. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I hope all of you enjoyed this session, and I'm sure many of you had more questions. Maybe you can catch sir over tea, which will be following this session. As a token of gratitude from us, so we would like to present you this small memento.
Thank you. Thank you.